a matter got to the Supreme Court on the issue of the national secretaryship of the party. Until today, I'm sure both of you, as versatile as you are as journalists, as experienced as you are, you can't say this is what the Supreme Court has said. What have they said? More confusion came from the judgment of the Supreme Court. So we have a judiciary that we do not even know where they are standing when it comes to the law. We don't know if they said Anyanwu is the secretary or Jude Okoye. We don't know. And in the past, we used to have a judiciary that was fearless. Once a matter gets, you don't even need to get to the Supreme Court before you know where the law is going to, because this is what the law says. But this time around, the same thing happened in the Labour Party. When the matter got to the Supreme Court, you hear them saying they should go back to the party. So the Supreme Court, the judiciary, has confounded more rather than assuage the confusion of the members of both political parties. As of today, you can't say who is the national chairman of the Labour Party. You can't say who is the national secretary of the PDP. What you are seeing is the use of force and power to either see we are in a mess. Let's be very frank about we are in a total mess. So what Atiku has done, rather than stay in that mess and start fighting today, maybe this one is missing, or tomorrow they burn this place, or this one thugs are fighting this one, they are blocked. The man decided to leave.
So let me take you up on what you said earlier. You said he left to build his camp elsewhere. Now, do we say this African Democratic Congress is his camp?
No. That is a platform for all Nigerians. And let me be clear. A platform for all Nigerians who are tired of what life has become in the last 10 years. All Nigerians. It was not built for Atiku. It was not built for Obi. It was not built for Erufai. It was not built for Malami. It was not built for Amechi. It is a platform for every aggrieved Nigerian who feels that as a nation, we deserve better than we've gotten in the last 10 years. We deserve to have a life. We deserve to be able to use our salaries and build something. You understand what I'm saying? Life has become early. And I'm not saying theory. Practically, people are at the verge of giving up totally. And what did they do? They managed to compromise the PDP. In fact, the two major opposition political parties, Labour Party and PDP. All of a sudden, we heard about ADA, right? That, opposition parties want to go to ADA and blah, blah, blah. They submitted application to INEC. That was 3 weeks ago for registration. Do you know what happened? When INEC was publishing the names of organizations that applied for registration, do you know what we saw? We saw that there's another ADA. Ask yourself, who is the other ADA? Check the people behind it. So, we have a government that wants to break down the neck of the opposition, but to ensure that you have a free flow. And now, if you watch something, since ADC came on board, the government is picking up. In almost all areas now, they want to, because now there is a robust and efficient and effective opposition platform that checkmates every of his actions. Everyone. You understand? We didn't have that in the past. In the past, you had a national chairman of maybe PDP that never came on TV or anywhere. That, you know, these people were just acting like a branch of the ruling party. But now, you have seen men who can look at the sitting president in the face and tell him, Mr. Man, you have failed. You have seen men, when I heard David Mark was appointed as the interim chairman, I was genuinely elated. Why? As a retired general, you can't compromise him, you can't intimidate him, you can't harass him. So it shows you that while we were shouting that opposition has failed in the last 10 years, some of these leaders were actually thinking along that line. They could have brought someone else. By now, we would have been having, meetings with them, and he will come in there and tell us, I'm the chairman, I'm the interim chairman of ADC. In the night, he's having, like we had in the past. It is time to demarcate between governance and a joke. And what? In every democracy around the world, you must have an opposition that scares the ruling government.
Okay, so let me come in here, because I've listened to your videos, and I'm sure, you know, first as a director of strategy for PDP former, and you know, a few days ago or sometime you said something like play, now so PDP take die.
Yeah, he said.
So are you technically saying that PDP as a party is totally dead?
It's gone.
Now, the people that are now in the coalition, in ADC, most of them, majority of them, were also formerly of the PDP.
Absolutely.
Do you think that that way, that energy that you saw in PDP by these members who are now in ADC, there will be a rebirth of a new direction, or there will be a carry-on of the trajectory that failed PDP in its antics?
No, I do not see the same pattern playing out this time around. Why? Because now you have members of the CPC that later merged with ACN to form the APC. You have them in the coalition. You have members of the Labour Party in the coalition. You have some APGA members, and you also have large members of the PDP in the coalition. So no party will be able to be overbearing or bring their own and say, because, see, some of the meetings that I've heard about from insiders within the ADC shows that there is, even in the management, in the leadership running of the party, there is only one interim national chairman, there is no national leader. So when you go for a meeting, everybody sits on the common ground. Only the interim chairman and probably his executives are seated up. In the past, you had people who wanted to rub shoulders with national chairman. I'm seeing a culture of discipline, and I pray and hope that that is sustained. There has to be a total. Do you know what killed PDP? It was arrogance. It was greed of the leaders of the party. People who felt without them the party will not survive. People who felt they owned the party. How can a few people, 36 or whatever number of people, gather yourself and feel that your decisions should overshadow the aspirations of millions of members of the party? That was what killed the PDP.
Was ambition one of them?
Absolutely. No, lack of ambition was one of them. What do I mean by lack of ambition? In 2017, when secondaries and executives came in as NWC members of the party, certain notes were submitted to them, given to them by some groups of people, and certain suggestions were made. See, you are new in the opposition race. You need to know how to engage not just the government, but the people.
You know why I'm asking this question,
yes,
Henry, for once of time? I raised the issue of ambition. You talked of lack of it, but the ADC is a platform that has a lot of ambition that are evolving by the day.
And ambitious people too.
And ambitious people too, just as the lady mentioned. Contenders for the presidential ticket. You have that, of course, of the former vice president. You have that of Peter Obi. You have that of Rotimi Ameti. So, have you not seen an implosion? A situation where the ambitions may disunite the ultimate interest of the goal of the ADC?
No, I don't.
Why?
Because the last 10 years I've taught everyone a lesson. You can't go it alone. You can't. You can't do it alone. And if you walk out of this coalition now, what is the alternative? So everyone understands there's a need to subsume their ambitions for the greater good. I've heard people say, oh, Atiku is the king of... It's a lie. Please, link up with the leaders of the coalition. I'm giving this as a challenge. Link up with the leaders and ask them. Engage them, not with cameras. Engage them as human beings. There is no favorite candidate for the ticket of the ADC. What everyone agrees is that APC needs to go. That's the driving force behind ADC. That Nigeria in the last 10 years, in fact, especially in the last 2 years, has been run in a way that is showing a total disconnect between the government and the citizenry. That there is a need to start checkmating. You know, there's a need to have a government that understand and connect with the people. That is the essence of the ADC. Now, yes, there are so many ambitious people there. Extremely ambitious. Ambition is not illegal. Ambition is a legitimate aspiration, right? What we should be worried about is, would they scatter the boat if their ambitions are not fulfilled? I don't see that happening. Yeah, maybe a pocket.
So you're saying that, for instance, a P2B who says he's not ready to be running it, and of course you see the interest of the former vice president.
Absolutely.
Can His Excellency Atiku Abubakar back P2B for presidency?
Okay, now this is my stand when it comes to the ticket of the presidential ticket of the ADC. This is my personal stand, right? Nobody will hand an automatic ticket to any member or any of the aspirants. Nobody. Yeah? We are trying to form a new system in the country, right? We should encourage these parties, especially the ADC, to go through primaries. Now you said, will Atiku support Peter Obi if he emerges as the presidential candidate? If Peter Obi as an aspirant can convince Atiku, convince whoever, why shouldn't he have the ticket and why would they back him? The question is...
But supposing he can't convince him.
So let him go. No. See, beyond the intra-party processes is the larger picture of the general election. You need to be able to convince people within your party. That shows your capacity to be able to convince the larger populace when you step out for the general election. If they hand, I am against automatic ticket for anybody in the ADC. Completely against it. And I have my reasons. If you can't convincingly get the ticket within just how many people, how do you want to go and face the man they call Jaga, whatever, what
Don't bother, just
the president. Listen, you need to show, and people say, oh, they will dollarize the primaries and everything. Those are defeatist statements.
Defeatist, genuine concerns, though, aren't they?
They are, but they are defeatist. You know why? Number one is, as ADC stands today, you don't even know who is going to be a delegate or not. What should you do? Now, you that want to run for president, you ensure that you also have your people as delegates. See, you have to be strategic instead of emotional.
So you're saying that beyond popular demand, political sagacity must, you must show that strength first within your coalition.
Popular demand. I keep hearing Peter Obi is the most loved and everything, right? Which is, see, every Nigerian wants a Peter Obi presidency. I want a Peter Obi presidency. But beyond emotions, I'm a realistic person. Do you understand what I'm saying? I want the APC to come back to opposition because they are very effective as opposition. They need to come back to that role. Because their role as government has not improved the lives of the people, with several key elements to show for it. They are very effective as opposition, so they need to come back. There needs to be a reversal of roles. We need to make sure, if we look at popular by whatever, the last election, Tinubu was declared president with 8-point-something million votes, right? The person who came second was not Peter Obi, according to INEC, even though that is still being challenged. It was Atiku. Right? The person who came third was Peter Obi. If we start building this castle in the air, the people, your opponents, me, I'm a strategist. The opponent you're going to meet on the field is not thinking like you. We saw the way the election of 2023 went. You need to think deeper and further than them. If you are bringing sentiment now that this is within the party, are you going to use sentiment for the people on the street? No. Let us agree. Go to primaries. All of them. All of them. The only thing that we owe them is to make sure that the primaries come out free, fair, and credible. Uncompromised. If there is a way, invite the EFCC to the primaries. Invite them to monitor people in their hotels. So that if we see any sign of financial inducement, you are disqualified.
All right, Henry, we're just going to have to leave it like that. We're just going to remind them of your advice. he says all of you should go to the primaries and test your popularity there. Henry, we just have to leave it like that for now. I wish we had more time, but unfortunately we don't. You're still watching the Thursday edition of Kakaki, the African Voice. Time to bring you State of Human Rights.